you go through training, you go through spring ball training camp. You talk about improvements that you're making each day, but it's a little bit different when you don't have a preseason game to play. So you don't really know what you have in your football team until you get to this first game. I'll just say we have a lot of improvements to make, and we realize that. But I thought the guys showed up today. Our fans were outstanding. It's my first walk down Greenwich Road, and there's a lot of energy outside that was brought to the stadium, and it led, it gave us momentum right away. I talk a lot about takeaways, and if you look at that turnover ratio, it kind of tells you who won the football game. But, deferring and putting them, getting them backed up, and then getting a quick takeaway kind of set the tone for the day. Offensively, Wes Lunt was outstanding. Good decisions. He can throw the ball. He can make all of the throws. Like he led our offense well today. Joe Spencer, our center, wasn't able to play today. So, we started a true freshman in Darté Lee. Whenever you have to do that, there's some concern coming in. But I thought our line stepped up, and whether it was pass blocking or of course opening up holes for the run, I thought they did a good job. We like our running back. Keyshawn Vaughn is an excellent player. But when you're back up in Kendrick Foster, and you get an opportunity to play, you have to make the most of it, and he did today. Kendrick did a great job. Besides that, offensively, it's about getting points on the board. League Turner, we can go through. A lot of offensive guys did good things. Other side of the ball, defensively, front kind of set the tempo a little bit. They had an outstanding quarterback. I said earlier, those takeaways helped early on. Special teams, it's good to get, to hit a field goal or late. It's a shame that we had punt return, but there's Mosley call back. As you can see, I'm going over a lot of things, so there's a lot of good things happening in this game. It's a good start. That's about all it is. It's a start. We kind of realize it's one game, but when you get a win, you really celebrate it, and we will. No major injuries from the game, so we should be good to go next week. Take your question.
What have you seen from Kendrick leading up to this game? Have you noticed some things you liked in him?
Kendrick has played that way, has practiced that way throughout. The ones that have been around our practices, it's not a surprise that he played that way. But when you have big runs like that, it gets your attention a little bit. That's how it's supposed to happen too. When you work hard, in all season, you're supposed to see benefits from it. So pumped up that he was able to have that type of game.
Lovie, how would you describe your emotions overall today? You said you'd be a little bit nervous coming in. Did you experience any of that? And at the end there, when you're with the team,
There were quite a few emotions, yeah. A lot of anticipation for the game. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. Just excited about today. And, I've talked a lot about the game day atmosphere on college campus. I saw it firsthand today. Our students were outstanding. And again, our fans leading up, right into the stadium. It's good to see the blue and orange. Orange throughout the stadium. So, all the families here today. So it's a good day for the Smith family, to say the least.
Lovie, usually expect to see at some point, a lull, especially in a really one-sided college game in early September. But there was no lull. 4 good quarters. It's kind of like these guys wanted to play
about
for
2 really good quarters, and then about 2 we'll kind of work on a little bit. No, seriously, there are a lot of things they will clean up from this game, but our team has responded like that throughout. I've seen them every day, and we have some good players. That buy into their role on the football team. But it's one game. It's one game. We realize that. But we want it to be 1-0 heading into the North Carolina game, and that's where we are.
Lovie, question about Darté Lee. That's a lot of responsibility to hand a kid who was playing high school football last year. When did he find out he was going to start, and how did he react to the news?
Well, last week he got a lot of reps. Of course, Joe was nursing his injury last week, so Dorothy worked with the one some. We didn't tell him, you're sure starting anything like that. But you have to be ready when your number's called. And you have everybody addressed, 70 guys or so addressed. Should go in, thinking that they're going to play and have to play the best game they've played in their life. But again, what a thrill for him to start your first game as a freshman and it be this type of win.
Do you know how many freshmen you used today?
No, I don't right off, but I know we use quite a few, and we like, as the reason why we did, we like some of our freshmen that we have, and we're trying to win football games, and there are a few guys we think can help us win football games this year.
How much of a turning point was Julian Hilton's interception early, do you think? Really set the tone?
It's big because Julian's another young player who hasn't played around here at all, really. He was third on the depth chart for a lot of camp, but he's got a lot of ability. I've kind of talked about his ability. No one can jump higher or run as fast as Julian Hilton. So, but it's one thing to be able to run and jump. You got to be able to make plays and finish plays. And he finished a few today, not just an interception.
Coach, everybody know you're going to stop takeaways, huge takeaways in all training camp. And right off the bat, second play of the game, interception led to a touchdown. Next drive, interception led to a touchdown. How important was that for you?
It's critical. I mean, it's the winning edge. And, a lot of people talk about it, but our guys believe that. And that's the first step, is getting guys to buy into it. We had Charles Tillman came down one day in practice, and he talked about it. And so you just keep talking about it, and our staff has done that, but you need to see it out there today. And we're talking about those three we got, and there are at least a couple we left out there. And next week we'll need to get those two.
Lovie, you mentioned the preseason games kind of allowed you to know what you have in your team. Is this like that going into an opponent that's more your size, your strength, athleticism?
Well, I think yes, we were able to see what we can do finishing plays. And, so we saw some things today that we didn't know. And for a lot of coaching staff, just see how our guys react in a game environment like we have today. So we do know a lot more about it, but we'll find out some things next week too. As much as anything, I wanted the team to play hard, be a disciplined team that played hard, and we're heading in that direction.
Did you see any nerves from your freshman kicker who was perfect?
Their freshman kicker? No, we didn't at all. Those guys don't know that they're supposed to be nervous. Your number's called, you kind of go out. Chase has done a good job, throughout, so we expect him to kick well.
Chase is a sophomore.
Yeah.
We had 7
But
true freshmen.
he hasn't played a lot, so
Right.
we'll give you that.
How pleased were you with Malik Turner today?
Malik Turner is a good football player, and he's got good size, and I've seen him make a lot of plays. 5 or so weeks, we've seen Malik do a lot of things. He's an excellent blocker too, good size, but again, it's about finishing and being able to. Those were great throws, but he's capable of those types of things.
Grad transfers made immediate impacts. Hardy Nickerson, we know Jamel President, 2 sacks. Just those guys seem to make a huge impact.
And not a surprise, Hardy Nickerson was, has been here for 4 or 5 weeks, whatever, and was selected captain. That says an awful lot about his impact he's had on our football team. And Jamel President, he's a good football player. He can rush. I think he's a legitimate defensive end that can rush the passer. And you need some stats to back that good start.
Is it fair to say? Is it fair to say that the
Concerned about making too much of this for the players or anybody because so
we try to just be real as much as anything. We won a game today, so you have a couple out there. You can say, hey man, don't, it's a win, but the opponent wasn't as good as some others we're going to play, or you go with what happened. We're going to enjoy wins, period, no matter who it's against. We're high right after a win, and that's what you should do. It's too hard winning. When you win, you need to celebrate it like it's a Super Bowl for you. It doesn't matter when and what type of win that is. But we realize it is one, and tomorrow we'll be right back at it. 2 o'clock tomorrow, our players will be here, and it's on to North Carolina.
Is it fair to say that the game plan might have been to use the run to open the passing game, but the opposite is what happened?
I mean, it's hard. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Both. The running game definitely helped the pass. But you can look at it the other way around too.
Was it?
We want balance. You go into each game with a game plan as far as what you think you can do, but early in the game it kind of tells you what you need to lean on a little bit. We like some of the matchups we had in the passing game going in and after we got to the game, but of course running game was a big part of it.
How much did the last minute change in the O-line positions, maybe affect the running game early going?
We worked for the most part that way this past week, so it didn't really affect an awful lot of what we did. And it's always about the next guy up. You can't have a big drop off when injuries or things like that, may interrupt the flow that you've had earlier.
Do you have a timeline for Spencer's injury?
Yes.
What is the timeline for Spencer's
Well,
injury?
we could have jumped to that question right away. I since I don't have to go over it, you can probably understand why I'm not going to go over it right now, but we do have a timeline, and I feel pretty good about that timeline.
Would you say it's long-term or short-term?
I would say that it is not a long-term injury, yes.
Lovie, I did a little looking during the game.
I did too.
This is not the first time a Lovie Smith team has coached. Lovie Smith coach team has scored 50. It happened one other time. Do you remember the other time?
I kind of lived in the present. You're going to tell me I assume.
At Tennessee Titans.
At Tennessee, I
put
do
51
remember that
up,
game.
So this
I
was
do.
the most points a team of yours has ever scored.
It's good to know. I did not know that. And I just know that it's fun being on that side of the field. Fortunately, I've been on the other side too, and that's not a lot of fun. But games like today, though, you don't have them very often. We realize that. But you enjoy it when it happens.
Lovie, Catcher Foster said when you got here, you told him have a dumbbell on either side, hold that, and he seemed that kind of said, hey, you need to drop some weight. Just what did you see in him that he'd have the potential to do this with you?
Because I've had a lot of experience with having a 5-pound and even 10-pound dumbbell walking around. But we did ask our guys to lose a lot. We were a heavy football team. And that's just a part. Everything we've asked them to do. Again, we realize how far we have to go. But as a coach, when you come in, you want guys to buy into how we're going to try to win football games. And they've answered the bell on everything we've asked.
Is he kind of the example you use to everyone else?
He has been an example, but there's others too. We have quite a few guys. It'd be easy for me to talk about a guy that hasn't tried to do what we've asked him to, and we don't have any like that. Again, one win. We're excited about it. Just can't wait to watch the video and make those corrections that we need to, and we'll have to make to beat North Carolina next week.
So the early penalties, what do you kind of attribute that to?
I think first game, things happen, and there's no way to get around it. You preach it. We've had officials at just about all of our practices, but they happen. There's a few of them shouldn't happen. You have some penalties that you're just working hard, playing hard, and you can't hardly avoid some. But some of those today weren't ones that we'll make in the future. I'll just say that.
Coach, you mentioned earlier about Jameel, the president. He's a transfer from Auburn. How much are you going to be depending on him next week against an SEC opponent?
Quite a bit. And whether it's SEC or SEC opponent, ACC, good opponent.
Right.
We're going to count on him quite a bit. Of course, Jameel is a part of the rotation. I think we have 3 outstanding ends. Of course, DeJuan Smoot is as good as there is around. Of course, Jameel President is a big part of it also. So we feel good about those 3. And inside also. Defensive line is the strength of our team. It's kind of simple.
Piggybacking off that real quick, the president had a great game. Obviously, we hear a lot about DeJuan Smoot. But how impressed were you with Carroll Phillips is doing?
Well, Carroll Phillips is a good player too. So impressed. We expected that. He's a legitimate. He's our right end. So for him to be in that role, we're saying that we like the matchup. You know, normally he's on the blind side of the quarterback, and he has juice. Again, and he can rush from the outside. So those guys need to have that type of impact each week for us to have success.
Overall, would you say the team met your expectations or possibly exceeded? I know you
No,
said there's always room for improvement.
I definitely would say exceeded. Met, yeah. I think whenever you get a win, no matter what type of win, when I come in here, if we're talking about a win, they've met our expectation, and we can work from that. So today, that was definitely the case.
So it's 6:30. How much time do you have ahead of you tonight watching football?
Our football, just fans football, North Carolina football.
Alabama, USC, whatever.
I will be a football fan. I am a football fan. So tonight, I'm like most of us. I'm going to watch games. Of course, watching the replay of our game will be a part of that. And nowadays, you have instant video wherever you are, which is a good thing. But looking forward to relaxing a little bit tonight, yes.
Final question.
14-10? We can't, of course, we've taped that game and can't wait to see two good football teams there for sure.
Any final questions for Coach?
Thank you. Take care.